All right, everybody, thank you. Welcome. And this is the Art of Learning Self-Love, and I'm Darla Williams. Today, I want to go over breaking free from personal restrictions. A lot of times in our life, we put a label over ourselves and restrictions over who we are, what we're allowed, and what we should be doing or what we can't be doing because of our paradigm, what we believe within our mind, and what we think that we should have. And breaking free from those things because of what others have placed upon us as what we, for our belief system, it's important that we get to a space where we can break free from those limiting belief systems. I've had an incredible week and a half with different people who have really stepped in and helped me to break out of some of my limiting beliefs. And I'm very grateful for Dr. Kim. You were one in that assistance in the last week and a half. Kasia was another one. And just being in this team with everybody, having access to those who really truly are walking and doing things that are transformational. Had extraordinary conversations with Joe and with Maud this week as well. It where we've all talked about different things where we're literally breaking down the limiting beliefs. And seeing some of Joe's transformation this week, writing his poem, amazing right there. That's just absolutely amazing to see him finally stepping into his own light and realizing his own self-worth and how much that he can actually influence the world around him. That is a beautiful thing. He is just a beautiful soul. Maud going through and doing different things this week herself and stepping in and letting go of past stuff that serve her so well, and watching her really get filled up with joy and happiness. I mean, I get to really see life transforming moments for different people all the way around. And it's a blessing for me to be in the space here, and working with each person and getting to see people's lives all the way around and knowing where they've been to where they're going and what could be in store for them in the futures is just absolutely gorgeous in every way. Life shouldn't be a struggle. It should be free. And it should be in a space where you get in, where you actually can breathe in the life, the healing, and the restoration, and literally at a place where you get so confident that you can just exhale any pain, hurt, circumstance, or situation that keeps you bound up from where you're going. So I want to go into 1 Kings 8:22. And I'm just going to pre-read for a moment and see where I feel led to stop in this, because this is Solomon's prayer of dedication. And what he was doing was dedicating himself as well as the temple to the Lord. So being that he was standing in, says here in 22, 1 Kings 8:22. Then Solomon stood before the altar of the Lord in front of the whole assembly of Israel, spread out his hands towards heaven, and said, O Lord, God of Israel, there is no God like you in heaven above or on earth below. You who keep your covenant with love with your servants, who continue wholeheartedly in your way. You have kept your promise to your servant David, my father. With your mouth you have made promise, and with your hand you have fulfilled it. It is as it is today. Now, Lord, God of Israel, keep your servant David, my father, the promise you made to him when you said, you shall never fail to have, I need to get new glasses. You should never fail to have a man to sit before me on the throne of Israel. If only your sons have carefully in all they do to walk before me as they have done. And now, O God of Israel, let the word that you promised your servant David, my father, come true. But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heaven, cannot contain you. How much less this temple have I built? Yet give attention to your servant's prayer and his plea for mercy. O Lord my God, hear my cry and the prayer that your servant is praying in the present this day. May your eyes be open towards the temple night and day, in place of which you said, my name shall be there, so that you will hear the prayer your servant prays towards this place. Hear the supplication of your servant, of your people Israel, when they pray towards this place. Hear from heaven, your dwelling place, and when you hear, forgive. That's where I want to stop right there. In regards to here he is, he's dedicating this space. How many times in our life do we give space to something that may not be actually serving us well? These are, when we read the scriptures, they're really great stories, parables to help us to actually identify what we're doing in our life. Now, we know that we're soul sovereign beings and we cannot be separated from God. We are in the cleave of, we are part of, we are the extension of the very existence of the beginnings of the foundations of the earth, and it continues on forever and ever. That is what it is. There is no separation from that. You can't be, like as Ruthie says, you can't have the double-minded looking behind you and coming forward and going, here, let me live this two world. You cannot have anything that separates you from the love of the Creator. We are made in that image and likeness, so we can't be separate from it. So when Solomon dedicated all of this space, he was setting it up for people to understand in a space that we are to be dedicating ourselves to, that true core foundation of who we truly are. That's what we're supposed to do. And once we dedicate ourselves to understanding that space of real commitment to our truth, our promises, our words that we speak forth, and the different things that we want to do and accomplish, it's important for us to actually begin to realize that each thing that we speak becomes life or death of our life. So if you make a promise to someone to do something and you don't follow through with it, you basically destroy the friendship, which is the death of a friendship, because you put yourself in a space and you put the promises there. So when you can walk in this, you then begin actually building. And this is where I'm finding, when I got in this scripture and I started really diving deeper and deeper into the meanings behind it, I realized how much power we have in standing in that dedication to ourselves and to the Lord and to life. Bantha, how are you?
Hi, I just looked at the time. I was like, I'm super late.
You are fine. You're just on time.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
If you made it, you made it. It doesn't matter what time.
My first time. So thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Kim.
I am excited that you're here. A little quick. Oh, okay. Real quick, just so you have a little bit of an idea of what we're talking about. I've been talking about breaking free from personal restrictions and coming into a space where you realize that there's labels and different things and belief systems that we we believe in and we take upon ourselves. But I read from the scripture of 1 King 8:22 through 61 from the Bible in regards to understanding the importance of dedication unto the Lord. So, if, understanding our soul sovereign being as well and being in that dedicated space, because once we're dedicated, we realize the understanding that we cannot be separated. There's no way we're already fit into the cleave of the whole process and purpose, because from the creation of the foundations of the creations of earth and bringing us to where we are today, that we just walk out our purpose when we finally get in that space and keep ourselves from speaking things that actually become life or death of our life. So that's a little paraphrase of where I was at and what I was talking about, so um, what was going on, and going into understanding also the very breath, the Zoe breath of life. When we talk about the breath is our life. It is what, from the foundations when we were first created, the breath was breathed into us. It was given. It was, here it is. Here's your life. It is given, and it is taken and can be taken away at any point. We never know the exact moment, but we know that we are here and we're here for a reason and a purpose. So it is our responsibility also to realize that in that very breath, we have life and death, but we also have healing and restoration by breathing in life and exhaling what's no longer serving us. So where I'm at this point, does anybody have any questions? Quiet. It's a lot of information. So the other part to this scripture that I was reading was when we look at 1 King 8:27. But will God really dwell on earth? The heavens, even the highest heavens, cannot contain you. How much less this temple I have built? So here Solomon was. Here he was as the king over a whole nation, and he builds up this huge temple. Instead of realizing and recognizing that the temple's within us, we are the temple. He builds this elaborate one to show a display of what it should look like and what it is. So he's got this elaborate kingdom and this elaborate castle that he has built with this temple within it, where people can come and serve, where people can come and devote themselves and be dedicated. Now, it's the same thing when we're walking out in our life and serving and doing the things that we're doing each and every single day. It's whether or not we're actually taking an account to realizing who we truly are as individuals and how much honor and respect we should be giving to ourselves each and every day. And that is the example and the purpose of the reasons why we read the scriptures, is so that we can see what those stories were written for, is to help us as a guidance system, to give us a understanding, a deeper knowing, and a comprehension to where we are to go forward to. So in that space, when he says in the heavens, even the highest heaven cannot contain you. So he's talking to God, and he's saying, God, we can't even, you are so immense, you're so massive, we can't even contain you. We can't put you in this small little space. We can't put you in this massive temple that I just built, because you're too immense. Because we are the very extension. Each and every single person. If we built a temple, we couldn't build a temple large enough to house all of us, because we are all part of the very essence of God. We are his eyes, we are his feet, we are the extension. Every single one of us has something deposited deep within the well springs of our nature of who we are, so that that can flow up and flow out and actually be delivered to the world around us, so that everybody can come into an understanding that they too have a purpose and a reason. Nobody is supposed to feel separated and disconnected. We're all supposed to come in and be together and flow together. We're a collective community that brings together an awareness and a love for one another. And the only way for people to actually grow and develop is through that love. And so here he was, he's saying that God cannot be contained. And it's because we can't be contained in one space, because we are everywhere. We're all part of the very extension of him. So now it says, yet give attention to your servant's prayer and his plea for mercy. O Lord, my God, hear the cry of the prayer of your servant is praying in your presence today. May your eyes be open towards the temple night and day, this place of which you said, my name shall be there. So here it is no matter when we realize the very reason that Solomon built the temple was so that we can see, the temple in its glory, but also understanding that we are the very temple. So what are we doing to serve ourselves each day so that we can be that best living vessel for the experience, for God to live out through us into this world? What are we doing? So that are we eating right? Are we doing the best healthy things that we need to be doing for ourselves? Are we getting the exercise? Are we taking the time for meditation and breath work and doing the different things that are required for us to feel that peace within, so that we can live in the now and not in everything else, so that we can actually sit in that space and be able to give of all of us, not just part of us. How easy is it for us to constantly get distracted and be in a space that isn't fully engaged? And when we're in that, we're not giving all that we should be, because every single interaction requires a connection. And every person that we come in contact with, we should take a moment and actually make full eye contact, make sure that the other person knows that they're being heard, knows that everything is being, if there's something that isn't healthy that's in there, that there's an expression, so that there can be good communication all the way around. And that's just in every relation in life, just talking in general. When you are dealing with a new connection through your Facebook, talking on a brand new account with somebody, hey, how's it going? There has to be already set up within yourself, so you know your rules and your boundaries, so that when people are coming in, you can already there's already an intention set. Good morning, Caroline.
Hi there. Sorry, I was a little bit late there.
You are fine. No big deal. We went over a whole lot. Does anybody have any questions yet?
I do.
Go right ahead, Kim.
In my car. So, Darla, I really would like you to talk about what you see that stops us from taking the best possible care of ourselves, from doing what we need and know we need to do to thrive. I've really been grappling with this the last few days. as some of you saw, I was at a TV studio yesterday and had the joy of playing behind the anchor desk and pretending I was a TV anchor. And I, spoke into the camera and said what I wanted to say about the power of self-love. And it was exhilarating. It was really exhilarating. And it had me realize I don't always put myself in circumstances or environments in which I can experience that level of joy. So I'd be really interested in knowing what you have to say about this. Oh, wise one, oh, wise woman. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, that is funny, Kim. Okay, she says, what I see that stops us. It's the process of what we think others will think of us while we're stepping out. It's the limiting belief systems from how many times did we hear so and so, our moms or dads or sisters or brothers or this or that come in and tell us we're less than who we really are. And we know otherwise, but we refuse to step up and go into the positions that we know that we should be stepping into. What do we need to be doing so that we can stop hesitating? Know your worth. Realize who you are and know that you are capable of anything that you truly set your heart's desires on, and you can attain it and achieve it. That is the power of manifestation. When we actually look at something and we think it and we believe it, it becomes. If we put in the doubt, what's going to happen? We're going to not achieve it because we doubted it. We put in our own limitation. So watching our thoughts on what we're doing, building ourselves up by thinking the positive affirmations and setting ourselves up for true success by actually speaking the life into ourselves so that we can actually attain and achieve the things that we want to achieve. But making sure that we have set ourselves up for success by allowing ourselves to put together the plan of actions and following through with the things that are necessary to do it. Because if we think it, but we don't do anything about it, we're not going to attain it. But if we go and do something, but we didn't put enough thought behind it before we did it, we might not achieve it because we didn't actually prepare ourselves. So there's got to be a preparation time. There's got to be a delivery system. And that 5-second rule, yes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just do it. Push the button. That's what I do a lot. Thank you for sharing. And I'm not so good at that part. Reading the things in chat at the same time. I'll just be honest about that. That puts my brain in 2 different places.
Thank you so much for that, Darla.
You're welcome, Jeff. You're welcome, Dr. Kim. I told you that literally takes my brain in 2 different, talking and doing that, then going and reading. That's 2 different lobes of my head. But with going back into knowing what we need to do, it's literally just coming back into really finding out and recognizing, taking the time to recognize what it is about ourselves that actually keeps us from where we're going. When for myself personally, that's what I can only give for everybody else. I mean, that from other examples I can share from other people's stories, but some of those people aren't here, so I'm not going to do that unless they're here for permission. But in my own personal life, knowing what I needed to do was recognize, what am I doing? How is this affecting me? How is this affecting others? And why is it happening? Figuring out how to take every circumstance and every situation and bringing it to the lesson. Instead of it being the anger or the hostility from within, because, I had lots of that at one point. I could have been explosive there was lots of times I was explosive in my life because of the way I learned to react instead of respond. So coming back to the space of learning to just respond in the circumstance and situation instead of react. You don't have to be explosive. You can take a moment and breathe and realize, okay, how do I need to be in this moment? So coming to that space of the now, no matter what's happening around you, you don't have to let those things in. So basically imagine yourself as a boat and you're traveling down the waters of life. Those waters can come in and they can be pretty damn turbulent. I mean, they can be smashing up against that boat. Those don't have to come in. Because if everybody's doing everything on the boat and taking care of all the responsibilities, the waters will be drained out, everything will be manned, and everything's taken care of. So how are you manning yourself through the circumstance? How are you navigating the waters of life? Are you allowing these things to come in and cast over the top of you and drown you? Or are you actually navigating through the waters in life and actually being able to stand in that space where you are actually feeling that, okay, no matter what's happening out here, I don't have to own it. That's not mine. That's a situation. And that getting to that space, that's what we need to do, is get to the place where we're actually navigating through it instead of allowing it to control us. That's the only thing we can control, is how we decide to respond. So there is your answer, Dr. Kim. I think she's driving and distracted. She didn't get the rest of that one. She'll have to go back and watch the recording.
I will have to go back and listen. You're right. I got distracted. Thank you so much. So such wisdom, such joy.
Just sharing my heart. That's what I do.
Beautifully. Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I just love this session here. I mean, you're just speaking everything that is so true to how I always see myself. I was one of those that I used to think of myself as separate from everything until I was fortunate to lead a culture that, you know, where I was. I love my culture, don't get me, I love them deeply. But there are some things that they taught us as kids that made us, and it's not my parents' fault, and it's just a cultural thing, it's everywhere. They teach you that you are separate from the universe, from God, and there's certain things you need to do to be accepted, for God to accept you, or certain things you need to wear, or some things for you to be loved. But I have come to realize that those things are not true anymore. And I'm just so, every time I think about it, I'm so grateful always to have come to that realization now. And the reason why I knew that, nobody told me. I just found out that. I just found that for my own self. Why? Because of yoga, because of meditation, and how I always feel when I sit down and I'm connected with the divine, and I see how loved I am unconditionally. That's what told me. No one told me. And that is the belief I have, and that is what I want to share with people. That is what I'm sharing with my own family back home, with my own friends, and who don't have any idea. The paradigms are so deeply ingrained in what I learned as a kid, and so many my mother and father learned and then left the world thinking that way. So I'm just so grateful to hear you talk about it. It just makes me feel so grateful to hear that. And fearness and always feeling fearful of what people say is always there, but it's always knowing that I can do whatever I want to do, whatever I think about. I know that I have the power. So thank you. This is
You're
so
welcome.
cool.
I am so glad you made it. Caroline, how about you? Did you have anything you wanted to contribute? Joe?
Hello, sorry. It's gone. Wait a minute. Am I on? It's
Yeah.
gone very noisy here all of a sudden because my three children have just come in and my husband has decided to start drilling. It was so peaceful and calm a moment ago.
It's okay. We all have life that goes on around us, hon. That's what I was talking about with navigating through the waters. The world
Yeah,
around us, it's happening all the time. How do we
that's right.
respond? How do we respond in that, hon?
I
Do
I had a situation before. I'm doing a lot of work at the moment, and I've got a big course coming up that I'm, providing. And I wanted to record a short video for it. And the sun came out, and it looked lovely down where I live. And I know that there's some nice palm trees down there, and I thought a nice little video in front of those palm trees with the sun out. And I said to my husband, would you like take a little video? And I got a little script, so I was kind of prepared. But then, of course, like my children were running in the background, and then they were making lots of noise, and then the wind was blowing, and it didn't sound like I wanted it to. And so I got quite cross. And that I know why, because lots of things that led up to that point, I was wanting it to be perfect. I hadn't looked after myself enough this morning. Like I had enough to drink, I hadn't eaten enough to eat, and was obviously just feeling not so great. But it was the way I reacted to it, and it's taken a while just to reflect on that and realize that, well, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I could just, there was little bits that you were saying there that I was just like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm glad that it helped. That is
Thank
why we
you.
all get together and do what we do here. It is so that it can help to encourage the others to get where they're going. Um, Part of my story is going to help somebody. Part of your story is going to help another. We all have a perfect divine plan. A perfect divine plan. There is a reason for every connection, no matter where you're at in life, no matter who you meet. There's a purpose and there's a reason. And when you come against the things that cause the distractions and cause the frustrations, there's a lesson to be learned in it. So you just said it all though. You didn't take the personal self-care and the time for you that was necessary to prepare you for that moment. But you were able to recognize that. So now next time you want to do something like that, to take and do your preparations and do what's necessary for you so that you can honor yourself because you deserve it. You deserve that. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Joe, did you have anything that you wanted to contribute in there?
Just some beautiful shares this morning. Thank you, everyone. Just warms my heart knowing I'm not the only one walking this path. Like we're all doing it in our own way, and it's just amazing to know that even though when we do feel alone sometimes, in this world is just trying to destroy us, that we're truly not alone. We just have to speak up and say, hey, I'm going through some stuff. What are you guys going through? And each and every one of you really show me that in our own way we are working through those struggles to just be in a better place.
Thank you. So I know that I'm going to be, we're already down to the last 10 minutes of the hour. So what I want to do is I want everybody to, well, I do a fountain work with everybody. Some already know, Bent, that you haven't been here. I'm not sure, Caroline, I think I've seen you, but I'm not sure if it was in my class or in someone else's. So I'm not sure if you've seen what I do in here. I take people from a circumstance and a situation from a dream that I had that I received my healing in, and I take you into a fountain where you get to actually step mentally into the waters, and it's a cleansing that comes in from the top of the crown chakra all the way down through the body out, and it's whatever is no longer serving you in whatever area of that came up emotionally, mentally, or anything, you have a right to deposit that into the ground. It is like the equaling to, it's like equal to death, to sin. Sin and death equal the same, and it gets deposited. It goes into the ground, into the grave. So we deposit it down into the core of the earth so that it no longer has to affect us. We bring back up the light, bring it back through, and allow for a recleansing to come through what was made for us from the foundations of the earth in to be deposited into us so that we can actually walk it out and live our life the way in fullness and wholeness and completion, because we can be healed in a holy instant. So that is what I want you to do. I want you to get comfortable in a seated position somewhere where you can actually just relax your body. And I will walk you through the visualization and the ability to actually allow the waters to come through. So go ahead and close off. And what I want you to think about right now is, in regards to what you heard today, the areas of your life that you find that are no longer serving, words that you've spoken over yourself, words that have been spoken by others, things that have happened in situations and the storylines that are just not beneficial. They keep you in the negative self-talk that make you separate yourself from the best life that you deserve to have. All of those things as they come up, because every single one of you have your own story. You have your own experience in your own situation. So I want you to go ahead and allow those thoughts to come up and bring them to your mind, to your remembrance. Once they're there, I want you to imagine yourself walking in through the gates to the garden. As you're walking into this large, luscious garden, you can see in the middle that there's a large fountain. This fountain is so massive and so beautiful, cascading white lights coming down through the waters that you can see just flowing. And it's so inviting. I want you to go ahead and I want you to walk up to it. I want you to step up mentally and step up again and step into the cooling waters. As those waters are circulating around your feet, I want you to feel that cooling sensation. That those waters that are cascading down in front of you, I want you to go ahead and step into that fountain, into that flow. And as you step in, I want those waters to come into the top of your crown, into your third eye, and into your mind. And I want you to go ahead and wrap up into that water all of that vibrational story that is no longer serving you, all those words, those hateful moments, those painful places, those things that are no longer serving you. I want you to go ahead and let those wash away, because you know each and every single one of them. You know what has happened. You know what people said. You know the disbelief that you have in yourself, what you cause yourself to hesitate from doing the things that you so deserve to have. I want you to go ahead and just allow those to wash down into the jaw and into the throat, and any words that you've spoken over yourself, go ahead and allow it to be washed away so you don't have to speak them any longer, down into your shoulders, down into your arms, and into your fingertips. Let it to wash out everything, every fiber of your being, bringing it back up and into your heart center. Let this space here right now just circle around, going from the front to the back of who you are and bringing anything up out of the well springs of your heart so that you can do nothing but speak positive life into who you are. So you're going to pull out any of those stories that keep you bound down into the solar plex, into the sacral, into the root of who you are. Allow it to wash away any vibrational story that is in your body. Through your thighs, into your calves, into your feet. And now I want you to take this whole story, everything that you know that is no longer serving. I want you to press it down into the ground as far away from you as possible. Down, down, down into the core of Gaia. Where this can lay to rest. Bring back up the light, bring it back up into your feet, into your calves, into your thighs, into the root, into the sacral, into the solar plex, into the heart, into the throat, the third eye, into the crown chakra, back up into the heavenlies. And now when it gets there, I want you to go ahead and bring that light right back down to you so that you can have an infilling, an impartation today of what is truly rightfully yours from the foundations of the earth. What was meant from you from the beginnings, when your story was originally written, the one with the perfect blueprint that is going to be able to give you the perfect life that you intended for you on this earth. Bring that light back down into your mind. Let it go ahead and fill all the spaces that you are replacing with knowledge, wisdom, love, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, self-control. Bring that down into the jaw and into the throat so that you speak life more abundantly. Down into your shoulders, down your arms, into your fingertips, back up into your heart so it can be deposited, so that you can be filled with love, light, happiness, joy, peace, patience. Down into your solar plex, into the sacral, into your root. Bring that back up through your spinal column into your mind and illuminate that you have a right to have peace. Go ahead and lift that up and allow that to go back into the heavenlies and be thankful that you have received your healing today. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Dr. Kim, your mic. Did anybody have anything that they needed to talk about after that?
Darla, I opened my mic because I'm in the parking lot of a beautiful church,
Are
and
you?
the church bell was ringing for noon. So I opened my
Awesome.
mic hoping you all could hear the chime. It was
I
so
did.
beautiful.
I did.
It was so beautiful. I'm so glad I pulled over. It was exhilarating. It was so powerful. What came to me, I can even turn my camera on. What came to me was that I was born free. I was born free. And part of my work in this life is to continually return myself to freedom.
That
And
is
so what I in the
beautiful.
fountain was everything that has me not experience freedom.
Let it wash away. And anytime it
Let-
comes back, this is the coolest part, is we get to experience these tools. These are tools you can take back and do for yourself. Or you can go and jump on another recording and watch it again and go, okay, wait, I need to get that again, because we have access to that every day. There's not a moment that we have to suffer because we have each other. That's the cool part. That's what I absolutely love about what we have in Noble Pullman, because we have these moments and being free, born free. What a revelation knowledge. That is yours, Dr. Kim. You are born free. I am born free. That is your words for today. That is your affirmation, your power words for the day. What are you going to go do your mirror work with? I
Born
am born
free.
free. Born free.
I'd like to offer one more thing,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could. You just brought tears to my eyes too. When you said, I don't know your exact words, but the message was, we're here for each other and with each other, so there's nothing we can't conquer. I frankly woke up this morning with what I feared was a tad of depression. And as many of you know, I was severely depressed for about a decade. And so I'm always on red alert. Is this that? Is this that? And it made me quite sad. And what just came to me in this meditation is exactly what you said, Darla, which is, even if this is that, and I don't believe it is, but even if this is that, I would get through it with the support of the people here. In those 10 years, I didn't have such a loving community of support. And so it lasted for a decade. And so if depression decides to visit, and I'm certainly not welcoming it, to be honest,
Yes, we
I know.
cancel.
Cancel.
Control Alt
Whatever.
Delete. Control Alt Delete. We don't have that.
We don't do that. We don't do that. But whatever does happen, whatever does come up, we have each other to pull us through, to walk with us on the journey. And I'm just so, so, so grateful. So thank you, everyone.
Do not give consent to depression to come into my life. Thank you, Joe.
Yes, no consent.
He
Thank
also
you.
said there was something about a song. What was it? Let me look. I'm gonna look. He gave you a song.
When you guys were talking about the line "Born Free," I'm just hearing Frank Sinatra's voice singing it. Just
Yes, yes.
"Born Free," like the way he sings back then. It was beautiful. Thank you.
I'll play that today.
Does he have that song? Is that his song? I'll have to look
Is
now.
that the one where he sings, "This is my way"? Is that what the song is?
He's got a
This
few
is
goodies.
my way. Whatever happens, whatever, this is my way.
Yes.
I love that song. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Darla.
you.
This has been so wonderful and healing, and I needed this today. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are so welcome. Connect anytime, hon.
I will. I will. I was talking, we were on another mastermind with Joe, and I said, I always get the time mixed up, and there's so many masterminds I want to take, but sometimes I just, before I look at this, oh man, it's past already. That's why today I thought I was way late. I was like, I'm just gonna get in anyway and see if she'll let me in. And
you're more than welcome. I am fashionably late for everything. So I always let everyone in because I know what it feels like to be fashionably late.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Blessings, love and light. Did anybody else have anything? Any questions? I am going to go ahead and close out. Thank you all so much for today. Today was a beautiful day.
Thank you, Darla. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
girl.
Thank you.
Bye.